Oh, did Shakur Stevenson make a mistake by not accepting the top rank offer and entering free agency now to be having a problem with Turkey Al-Sheikh and the offer? This video, that's what I want to talk about. Yeah. We back. Now, I made an unpack video this morning. Make sure you check that out on the channel. I am the best in the business, and it's not even close. And in the video, I gave my fair assessment, but there's more that I want to talk about. You should really watch part 1, that unpacked video, and then come back to this video, because you might not know fully what's going on. But in a nutshell, cliff notes, if you will. Shakur Stevenson, he got called out by Oscar De La Hoya. I do believe Oscar De La Hoya said after all that ish talking from Shakur Stevenson decides to up and pull out. He pulled out of a William Zepeda fight. This is what Oscar De La Hoya is claiming. Shakur Stevenson, he responds. Again, I'm not going to go over it and read it and exact because I've already done it. I don't like to do the same work twice. But watch that first video for the verbatim of what he said. Bottom line, Shakur Stevenson responded to Oscar De La Hoya and he said, yo, Turkey offered me a number, and now the number he's offering to fight Zepeda is not the same. So that's not going to cut it, right? So in the unpacked video, I gave my honest thoughts of, I understand that argument, period. If somebody says, I'm going to pay you $10 million to fight this guy, if he gets past his opponent, then he does, and then they try to stage a fight, and they say, hey, about that 10 million is only going to be 4 or 5 or 2 or whatever, a 1 million. That would be a problem for me as well. So that's what I was talking about in the unpacked video. However, in this video, I want to talk about a different angle that I didn't really explore, and this is the Shakur Stevenson side of what he could have done different. Now, a couple things. Shakur Stevenson, he had his last fight, Artem Harutyunyan, in Newark. The people were leaving early, and Shakur Stevenson, he beat Artem Harutyunyan and became a free agent. He had been beefing with Top Rank, basically, taking shots, saying they don't care about black fighters, this, that, and the third, and he elected to go elsewhere. This is your choice, which I explored a bit in that unpacked video, but now I want to talk about it some more. Shakur Stevenson turned down a Top Rank offer for 5 fights. It was a 5-fight deal. This is all recorded, all been reported. 5-fight deal, and it would be $15 million for those 5 fights, right? This was a deal that was offered by Top Rank. So that means he would be getting $3 million a piece for the 5 fights. And then they said, if one of those fights happened to be a pay-per-view, you would get perhaps more. Now, in hindsight, there's rumors, we'll say. I don't want to say reports, more so rumors that Turkey doesn't necessarily view Shakur Stevenson as a bona fide star. And William Zepeda also fought Tevin Farmer. He didn't look sensational. Sensational. What can I do for you, girl? Right? He didn't look sensational. He arguably lost at least one of the Tevin Farmer fights. Some people would even say both. So there's not much value in a Shakur Stevenson and Zepeda fight at this point. They should have never put Zepeda in with a guy like Tevin Farmer. It's stupid. And I showed you, or I told you, now I'm going to show you that what I said regarding Turkey will come true. Where in boxing, you got to strike while the iron's hot. When you try to do too much and you try to quote unquote play God and you want to make future fights, but you put obstacles in the way of those future fights, it usually doesn't turn out to be a good idea. Turkey's doing it with Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney. The goal is to put them in with each other, right? So you're putting Rolly, a noted puncher who got the best of Ryan in sparring for whatever that's worth, right? And you're putting that obstacle in front of Ryan, who's been on a year layoff, right? And you're just hoping he gets past it. Then Devin Haney, you're putting him year layoff, bad performance with Ryan. You're putting him with the former champion, Jose Ramirez. Like, this spells trouble to me, right? You got Canelo. Your goal is to put Canelo in with Crawford, and you're putting the skull fight in front of him, where even if Canelo wins, if he wins, but he doesn't convincingly beat the crap out of William Skull, then that's gonna be negative. You know, it's gonna hurt the Crawford fight. So for me, what Turkey's doing, this stuff doesn't make sense to me, because I've been in the boxing game, right? You have Zepeda and you put him in with a tricky guy who could play spoiler, and arguably did play spoiler because he hurt William Zepeda's stock, right? And then the same thing with Shakur Stevenson. You put him with Schofield pulls out. You put him in with a Padley, and Padley wasn't going to give Shakur Stevenson like new fans, if you will. Now you don't see the value of the fight. Now you're trying to lowball Shakur from what you said previously, according to Shakur Stevenson. So I do blame Shakur in this as well, because this is the side that you chose to flock to. You were sitting next to Turkey and it was all good, doing all the photo ops, but here's what they think about you. Now you can't get the money that you feel you deserve or that you were promised by dealing with Turkey. And it's just so funny because you guys were saying that Turkey has unlimited funding and buku bucks, that he don't care about losing money. Then why is he being a tightwad when it comes to Shakur Zepeda? Shakur's saying, I'll fight Zepeda, but pay like you weigh and give me what you said you would give me, right? So we'll see. If they let this fight falter over money, then that money's looking funny under the light. We'll leave it like that. You had Teofimo and Richardson Hitchens, and it fell apart over money. Richardson Hitchens wanted $2 million. Turkey didn't want to pay for it. So this is who Shakur decided to align himself with. And you could have signed the Top Rank. You would at least had the guaranteed $3 million per fight. And now you got a nickel and dime and have public spats with De La Hoya and all that for your money. Like me, I just want to get paid. I don't want to have to like kick and scream for my Skrilla. You know what I mean? I just want what was owed to me. I'm willing to work hard. I showed you that I'm a hard worker. You just pay me. You know what I mean? I don't want to have to like come hunt people down for my money. Just run me my money. Hey, dirty baby, I got your money. Don't you worry. I said, hey, like I'm ODB with it. Just give me my money. Just give me my money. You know, Shakur Stevenson, this is kind of embarrassing if these rumors are true and Turkey don't want to pay you and he doesn't see the star power in you. Why'd you sign these people? You could have signed to Al Heyman and PBC and done like an Edwin De Los Santos rematch. You know, there's a slew of different options, and then you could have fought Tank. But you didn't want to do that. You didn't want to do a one fight deal with Tank only. And then now this is a situation you're in. And a lot of what boxing media and fans say, it's just not adding up. They're saying Turkey don't care about losing money, but then you have fighters who are complaining about pay and they're changing the pay scale and all that type of stuff. So now the question remains, should Shakur have looked in a different way, in a different direction, like Top Rank, PBC? Now we're hearing Top Rank and PBC might do some shows together. So even if you re-sign with Top Rank, if that is true, and they start doing more work joint promotionally with PBC, then you're all the way in no man's land and having to kick and scream and fight for like dollars and not get the fights you want, and then get fights like Padley, which it really does nothing for your brand. So it's like, why did you sign to these people? Basically, if the best Eddie Hearn could give you is an electrician, and in the very next fight, Cordina off of a loss, move him up in weight, and an electrician, and then when it comes to the fight that would give you the most respect, like Zepeda, you're saying they don't want to pay you. Nasty work.